Okay, Cal. So we're going to get into the first of the 3 sessions that we've discussed. Obviously, at the end of the 3 weeks, with the main aim being you improving your overall heading and like your forward game, so you can take it into your Sunday League team. Obviously, this week over the 3 weeks we're going to be focusing on 3 different types of headers: attacking, defensive, and passing. Because obviously, you need to be able to bring other people into play when the ball's being played up to you, score goals with your head, and also with you being one of the taller players in the team, use that for defensive purposes. Okay, Carl, so we're going to get into the first drill, and it's basically going to be passing with your head. You're going to be stood on this cone here on the edge of the box. This demonstrates sort of the ball being played into you in like an attacking scenario. If the ball's coming up to you, you can bring other people into play. Callum's going to be stood on one of these 3 cones, but he's not going to be stationary the whole time. He's going to be moving between each one, throwing the ball to you. And I just want you to focus on really getting the ball back to him, heading it with the foot in the middle of your forehead with power, and leaning through it with your strong foot leaning forward. So make sure you've got your dominant foot forward, and heading it, aiming sort of for his chest. So so he can catch it again, and then we'll maybe progress the drill if it gets a little bit too easy for you. Right, so I'll just give you a quick demonstration. So Cal throws the ball to me, head height, lean into it with your stronger foot, and then if he moves to one of the other cones, then you twist your body, aiming towards him, dominant foot pointing towards him, ball comes in, head it back again with your forehead, but aiming for his chest. Okay? Right, go. That's good. Really step into it with that stronger foot. Just speed it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. Alright, Cal, so that was good. The technique on the header was really good, but what you've really got to emphasise is stepping in with that stronger foot, and really stepping in, because it helps you get the power onto the ball, and it'll help you keep the direction better as well, because if you're stepping in to the where you want the ball to go, your upper body's not going to move as much, so you'll head it straight back to him. Okay, yep. So we're going to go back into the same drill again, and just really make sure you're stepping in. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's it, you're getting good direction on it now. Good. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that was really good the second time round. You really were stepping into it, and you could tell you were getting a lot better direction straight back into Cal's chest. And the heading is good anyway. You're getting a really good connection on the ball. You're following through with the head as well, so that was good. I think we're going to go onto the next drill now, which is an attacking drill. Okay, Cal, we're going to go into the second drill now, and this one's an attacking one. It's sort of a similar principle, except you this time are going to be on these 3 cones here, and Cal's going to be feeding the balls from over here. I'm going to give you commands like front post, near post and back post, and what I basically want you to really focus on with the attacking header is stepping into it again, but heading the ball down into the ground towards the goal this time. And this will help you get more power onto the header, and makes it a lot harder for goalkeeper to get it. Yeah. So that's what the main focus of this is, really stepping into it and heading it down into the ground as hard as you can. Okay, so I'll just do a quick demonstration. So obviously imagine I'm calling out to you what cone I want you to go to. So if I say near post, come to the near post and really step into it and concentrate on heading it down, and then I'll say middle, and Cal throw it again, focusing on heading it down, and then back post, again, step into it and focus on heading it down into the ground. Okay? Okay, let's go. Front post. Oh. Front post. Oh my God. Middle. Back post. Front post, last one. Come on. Okay, Cal, so I'm not really too fussed about the accuracy at the moment, but it's more the technique. Can you tell me where you think you maybe lacked there?
I weren't putting my body into it, so I weren't like full stepping in and going onto it.
Yeah.
Sometimes kept getting the top of my head on it as well.
Yeah. So basically, on the near post ones, especially, it's because you're sort of level with the post, it's about twisting your body as well as you step, and making sure you get over the top of the ball with your head. You were a little bit static and your body wasn't quite moving, and that's why it was bouncing off the top of your head. So just make sure on all of them you're twisting and as you step in, and then you'll be able to get it onto your forehead and into the ground for the attacking one. We'll try that drill again, and then we'll look at progressing it maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go near post. Better. Back post. Good. Getting over the top of it now. Near middle. Back again. One more. Front post. Well done. Okay, that was a lot better the second time round. You were getting over the top of the ball, and as you can see as well, as you were twisting your body, you started to get them on target as well, which is really good. I'm going to progress it on a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put targets about a foot inside the goal. So if you run into the near post, I want it in this corner. Far post, I want it in this corner, and then middle, I'm going to let you decide which one you aim for. So whether you want to twist and head back post, or step in and head near post. Okay. Okay, go front post. Okay, make sure you get over the top of it. Back post. Middle. Well done. Front post. Oh, that's pretty so hard. Remember, get over the top of it. Back post. Good. Okay, so that was a really good second time round, and you did well with getting it in the targets. Can you show me the technique for heading the ball and twisting the body and things like that?
Yeah, so when the ball's coming in, keep your eye on it, step into it here with your forehead and lean into it when you're heading it. If you want to go in like far corner, twist and head it. If you want to go near it, then
yeah, that's really good.
twist.
Really good. We're going to go into the last drill, and that's a defensive drill, so I'll talk you through that now. Okay, Cal, so obviously we talked about beforehand that you're one of the taller players in your team and you're required to come back and defend corners, and obviously you want to focus on your defensive headers as well. So what we're going to do is, it's a similar sort of drill, except this time you're going to be situated on the edge of the 6-yard box, because that's where you're going to do most of your defensive headers when you're going back 4 corners. Carl's going to throw them into you again. I'm going to give you the commands again, and I just want you to get height with same technique, with the forehead stepping into it, but this time meeting it at a slightly different point, so you're getting the height on it as well, as much power as you can. For now, I just want you to just get it clear. Basically, we're not aiming for anything. Try and clear the box if you can. If not, that's all right. It's just about getting the technique right this week. So, okay, Cal. So I'll just do a quick demonstration for you. So I'll go near post, in the middle, and then back post. Just making sure you get it as far away as possible. Okay, Cal, let's go. Front post. Good. Stepped into that really well. Got the power on it. Middle. Good header. Back post. Big clearance on this one. Well done. And again, near post. Step into that one. Make sure you step into it. Middle. Good step into it. Got good power on that. Good clearance. Okay, we're going to do the same defensive drill as last time, except this time put a little progression in. As you can see, there's 3 boxes sort of around the edge of the box, all lined up with one of these cones. What I want you to do this time is, obviously you're an attacking player, but you're going back to help the defence. What I want you to do is start thinking about how you can then get your team on the counter-attack, and you can transition from being like defensive help to going up and maybe getting yourself a goal as well. So I want you to imagine that there's your players on the edge of the box, in those boxes, and so when you come to the near post, heading it towards that box, try and get to that box. This one, that one, and then the back post, that one as well.
Yeah.
So if we just go with that. Okay, let's go near post. Good accuracy. Middle. Really good accuracy. Back post. Twist your body, remember. Front post. Unlucky. And then middle. Twist your body more. Okay, Carl, so that was really good. First 3 or 4, you got the accuracy quite well, and then the last 2, you stopped twisting your body, and that then took the accuracy away a little bit, and you weren't quite getting the height and the power on it either. So that's what we just got to make sure you're really twisting that body, stepping into it, and you get the right height on it for these sorts of headers. But other than that, that was a really good drill. Okay, so that's the end of the first session on heading. Obviously today we focused on attacking, passing and defensive headers. Can you possibly tell me the technique for an attacking header that you've learned today?
Right, so when the ball's coming in, keep your eyes on it, step into it, head it with the top of your head,
Yep.
and lean into it.
Yeah, that's really good. Next week, obviously, we're going to stay on heading. We're going to look again at more attacking, defensive, and passing drills. Next week, we're going to bring in a jump into it and a bit of timing. So, obviously, on the first drill, the passing one, there was a few times where you were heading it sort of wayward, and on the attacking one, you're heading it into sort of high in the middle of the goal. That's just all about you timing and meeting the ball at the right point. But we'll focus on that next week. But other than that, it was a really good session. Thank you for taking part in it. This is part 2 of our 3-week last week we're going to try and do passing heading, attacking heading, defensive heading. The first drill this week is going to be the passing one. This week we're going to incorporate a jump into the header as well. So obviously we worked last week on the basics of what you need to do for each type of header. This time we're going to bring in a jump, because that's more likely what's going to happen during the game. So for this drill, you're going to be stood on this cone over here. You're going to start and run towards the middle, the cone in the centre. Callum's going to throw one of the balls up for you. I'm going to give you the back to tell you which cone to head it back to. Now, as you can see, each cone is at a varied distance. So I want you to adjust the power of the distance body, aiming as close as you can for that cone. So, yeah. Right, okay, I'll just do a quick demonstration for you and show you what I expect you to do, okay? Starting off here, you run into this cone, so I'll go right, and I want you to use, and then come back to the cone, there you go again, centre, head it back towards the centre, again. So, for each one, leading off your stronger foot, I want you to jump, and obviously whichever cone I tell you to, vary the power on it and vary the distance on the header, okay? So let's get into the drill now. I want you to make sure, focusing on remembering last week's techniques as well. So for the passing header, it was heading it towards sort of chest height. Obviously this time it's varied distances. And just remember, as you're running, timing your runs when you throw the ball, and leading off your stronger foot to jump, and then heading into whichever cone I tell you to, okay? Let's get into it. Go. Right. Good, well timed. Back. Again, left. Good distance. Left. Centre, aim at the Callum's chest. Good header, well done. Good, you were getting great distance on it, heading it with the correct part of your head, with your forehead. And I really like the ones to the far cone, because those ones can be a little bit more difficult to get the power right, especially when you're jumping, because you can overshoot those headers quite a lot. I thought that was really good. We're going to go on to the attacking headers now, because obviously that's more of your game, and I'll talk you through the drill now. Okay, so we're going to get into the attacking drill now, which is like obviously the main part of your game. And basically, following on from last week, I wanted to make sure you're keeping that technique and getting over the top of the ball, heading it down to the ground. Obviously, this week we're bringing in a jump into it as well. Basically, we're starting out from this cone because to give yourself the best chance on corners and crosses to beat your man in the air is to have an attack and time your run. So I really want you to focus on timing as the ball's coming to you, and again heading the ball down into the ground. We're not aiming for any targets at the moment. I just want you to try and concentrate on the technique and really just try and get it into the goal at this point. Okay, so we'll get straight into it. Okay, Carl, you ready? Okay, go. In post. Back out, back out. Middle. Okay, you can't back up a little bit there, just hang out if you need to. Well done, you made the most of it, get back out. Middle. Lucky, you got over the top of it, so you have to come on one more. Back post. Well done. Jog in. Okay, Carl, that was really good. Obviously, you were getting over the top of the ball and getting down into the ground. I really liked the diving head one. You made the most of like a bad ball into you. Obviously, with I think it was the first one and the second one, you got there a little bit too quickly underneath the ball as you jumped. Obviously, if you're meeting the ball too early, you're always going to meet it underneath and it's always going to go high. Other than that, you got over the top of them really well. So I think we'll press it on this time. As you can see, there's two orange cones either side of the posts. I want you this time, if it's near post, heading for that corner. If it's far post, this corner. And in the middle, I want you to choose, you decide which one you go for. But just remember, timing your run, if you need to, as the ball's coming up, hang out a little bit. And then really emphasising heading down into the ground as much as you can, okay? Right, get straight into that one. Are you ready? Okay, back in, back in. Remember, hang out if you need to time that run, middle. That's better, good accuracy. Back post. Unlucky, you met it a little bit too early again, back out. Last one into the middle. That one's better, come in. Okay, so with that one, you were again meeting the ball a little bit too early on your jump and you were getting a little bit too much height on them. You weren't allowing yourself to get over the top of the ball. Obviously, that's the main thing of this. We're starting out on this cone to make sure your timing's right. If you're playing against a defender who's static or just lingering around the edge of the 6-yard box and you're really attacking that ball and meeting it at the best point, you're going to beat him 9 times out of 10 with the ball that you're going to score. So obviously, I really want you to just, we'll go through that again. I really want you to work on that timing, judging the flight of the ball and then getting over the top of it. And I want you to try and get 3 goals out of 5 aiming for those corners as well. Okay, Cal, so we'll get straight back into that drill again. Remember, timing your run, hang out with me. Ready, Cal? Near post. Well done, back out quickly. Quick as you can, into the middle. Get up. Unlucky. You got over the top of it, just work on the accuracy. Back post. Brilliant timing, well done. Back out, one more. Middle. Lucky, back in, come in. Okay, so that time your timing was a lot better. As you could probably tell, you were meeting it at a very good point, and I think you got 4 out of 5 in. So I'm really impressed with how you progressed on quickly with that. And going into the last drill now, which is obviously a defensive drill, working on that. So when you're going back like that, I'll show you what that drill is now. Okay, Cal, so we're going to get into the final drill now. This is a defensive drill. Obviously, you're coming back to corners as we discussed last week. Again, incorporating the head, the jumping into it. Start over here, and he's going to throw the ball into here again. I'm going to give you a command, and I want you to run to near post and clearing it out towards the edge of the box. I want you to try and clear the box this week because you've got that momentum of you running and meeting the ball. Timing again is key in this. And then middle, straight down the middle, and then that way, clearing it out that way. Okay, so we'll get into that drill in a second. Okay, Cal, we'll get straight into that drill. If I call out this cone, heading out that way, call out the middle one, straight down the middle. And if I call out the far cone, heading out that way. Trying to clear the box if you can, okay? Okay, left. Middle. Middle. Well done, got there well. Back in. Last one. Near post. Well done, good header. Right, do you want to jog in? So that was really, really good. You were meeting the ball perfectly. Your timing's got a lot better over this session. Obviously you cleared the box really, really well. I think like that'll do for that drill. Obviously defensive part is only a small part of your game, and then I'll just debrief you on the session. Okay, Carl, so that was a really good session again today. Obviously progressing on from last week, bringing in and timing was the real key thing this week. Obviously on your attacking headers, it was that's the biggest part of your game, so you need that timing like on point to score more goals, which is obviously the main goal. Can you tell me the coaching point of that attacking header this week?
So main point was to work on your timing. So when the ball's up in the air, I need to make sure when I meet it, I'm getting over the top of the ball so I can head it to the ground. If I'm too early to the ball, then I need to step back a bit, check my run and all that, and just make sure I can get it into the ground into the corners.
Yeah, that's perfect. So next week obviously is our last week. Next week we're going to bring in a defender, we're going to bring in a goalkeeper to try and make it that little bit hard for you and really create those match scenarios that you're going to be confronted with on a week-to-week basis for your team, okay? Yeah. But really good today. Thanks for taking part in the session. Okay, Cal, so we're going to get into the final week of the 3 weeks of your heading sessions basically. Obviously the first 2 weeks we were looking at passing, attacking, defending. Obviously we're going to be doing that again, but this time we're going to be taking it into a more game scenario sort of drills. Obviously we've changed location. This is where you would normally be playing for your Sunday team, so it's beneficial for you to be practicing in that environment. Basically for this first drill, what we're going to be doing is you're going to have, it's similar to your other passing drills, you're going to be making that little movement to jump and win the header, but this time you're going to have Warren who's going to be the defender and he's going to be constantly pressuring you as you're moving to the ball, just to give you that little bit of real match practice, because you're going to have a midfielder on your back in these sorts of situations when you're trying to lay the ball off. Obviously we've got cones situated around. Josh's going to throw the ball up to you. As I say, Warren's going to be staying on your back. I want you to time as you're meeting the ball and just aiming for any one of these cones that you want. Obviously for these ones you might need to twist your body a little bit more to get the header. I'll give you a quick demonstration of that. Just do a quick demonstration. So you're going to have Warren on your back with the pressure and you're heading it towards one of the gates, and then just making sure, obviously they're at different distances as well, so I just want you to make sure you judge the power. So if you want to get into that. Okay, let's go. Good, with accuracy. Well done. Well done, good twist of the body. That's it, remember judging the flight a bit one more. Good header, that's good. You want to just come in? Okay, so that was really, really good. You got the accuracy. You can see that you've the last few weeks have really helped. You're using the correct part of your forehead. Obviously, that was one of the big coaching points of the first week, especially for this sort of header. And you're judging the distances very well when you're laying it off, because when you're in this sort of situation, your players are usually going to be in close proximity to you, so you can get it down to their feet. I like these ones out here when you twisted your body really nicely, because that can be quite difficult when you're jumping at the same time. So we'll progress it a little bit, but all I'm going to do really is make the gates a little bit smaller and push them out a little bit more. So we'll get back into that. The same thing again, but the gates are now been made a little bit smaller and moved back a little bit. So I just want you to really concentrate on that accuracy again, using the forehead to head the ball, and just carry on the way you started just then. Get straight into that. Okay, let's go. Good and lucky. Remember to time the ball a bit better. One more. We'll do one more. Go. Good. Josh, So obviously that time was more your timing that you weren't quite getting right.
Yeah.
Again, when you were getting your head to it, the accuracy wasn't too bad. It was obviously the gates being a little bit smaller made it a little bit harder. If it didn't remain the same, you probably would have got a few through. But just remember what we worked on in the second week was meeting that ball at the right point. You were going a little bit too early on some of them and you were getting underneath it, but you were already on your way back down off the jump. But apart from that, that's really good. So I think we'll move on now to the defensive headers and we'll work on those. Okay, Cal, so we're going to get into the defensive drill now. Obviously, as we talked about in the last few weeks, your defensive headers are mainly going to be on the edge of your own 6-yard box when you're coming back to defend the corners. Obviously, we talked last week about meeting the ball at the right height again, using the forehead, and these ones you want as much height on them as you can, and you're clearing it as far away as you can to make sure that your team doesn't concede a goal and trying to stop them from having another wave of attack as well. So for this drill, what we're going to do is you're going to start in the middle of the 6-yard box here. Warren's going to start just like in the middle of the penalty spot on the edge of the 6-yard box. What I want you to do is, as Josh throws the ball, you're running to meet it, but Warren's going to come as well, and as the attacking player, and you've got to beat him in the air and direct it out. I've put orange cones to the left and right. They're indicators, but you don't really need to aim for them. I just want you to do your best to try and clear the box with that running jump. So really emphasis on the timing of your run and meeting the header at the right point and making sure you get as much height on it as possibly can. Okay, so I'll just do a quick demonstration to show you what I want you to do. So you're going to be starting here, the ball's going to come up into the air. Warren's going to challenge you, and I want you to make sure you time that header perfectly. Just do another one. And trying to clear the box as best as you can, okay? So obviously that first one wasn't great. I mistimed the run a little bit, but I just want you to make sure that you're timing that run and meeting the ball at the right point. So do you want to get into that? Okay, go. Well done, unlucky. Back in, remember heading it with your forehead. That's better, don't worry about the defender, that's better. Good header. Good, one more. Brilliant. You want to jog in? Okay, so that was really good. The first one, you seemed a little bit tentative going up with the attacker. That's understandable because obviously this is the biggest part of your game. But once you realise that you've got the better of them by timing that run, because 9 times out of 10, if you're timing that run perfectly and the strike is a little bit more static, you're going to beat into the ball because you'll be able to leap higher. The headers were really good. You were clearing them out really nicely. We will do it again, but this time I do want you sort of trying to aim for these cones, because imagine these cones are your players like we did last week. Try and get you on the counter attack again. So we'll go into that again in a sec. Okay, let's go. Remember aiming for them cones. That's good. Good angle on that. Brilliant. Great accuracy. Well judged. Well judged. Back in. Good header. One more. Good and nothing. Right, just jog it in. Okay, so that was really good, especially I like this one you got out here. As you can see, the ball's gone quite a way out of the box, and that would have been a great starting point for a counter-attack for your team. I think with a couple of them you were sort of flicking it away, but sometimes that might be what you have to do. If you can't quite reach it, any touch in the box off the head is going to be vital in defending, so that was really good. I don't think we really need to progress that too much because it's not a massive part of your game, and you seem pretty switched on to the techniques and things like that. You were heading it perfectly well, getting good distance on it, so I think now we'll go into the main part of your game, which is obviously the attacking headers, so I'll talk you through that drill. Okay, Cal, so we're going to get into the attacking side of your drills now. Can you remember from last week what the coaching points for the attacking header were?
Right, so you really mainly wanted me to hit with mainly like my forehead.
Yeah.
When I'm heading it, get into it, get my body through it, and when heading it at the goal, you want me to hit it down, so the keeper has less chance of getting it. Yeah, so obviously that makes it a lot harder for the goalkeeper. This week we're obviously going to bring in a goalkeeper. This drill is pretty similar to the defensive one, except obviously this time you're attacking. First off, we're going to do it without a defender. I want you starting on this cone, and then Josh's going to throw the balls up
for you. Again, really timing those runs perfectly so you can get yourself over the top of the ball, heading it into the ground to try and beat Andy in goal, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll get into that now.
Go.
Great header, brilliant. Back into itself. That's it, well met, good header. Get there. Good head, good save. Up you get. Good head. One more. Great header, unlucky. Go and jog in. Okay, so that was really good. You managed to adjust. Sometimes when you were going a little bit too early, you adjusted. You still scored goals, which is obviously the main part. But obviously, still we want you to focus on getting the ball down into the ground, into the corners. But they were some really good headers. We're going to do it again. This time we're going to bring in a defender to just put pressure on you again. You're trying to beat him in the air as you were for the defensive headers. But obviously it'll make it a little bit more challenging now because you've got to beat the defender and then beat the goalkeeper as well. Then we're going straight into that. Remember, beat the defender in the air. Leap forward and right point. Let's go. Looking. Come back in, stand again. Good header, great header. Back in. Go. Oh, looking. Don't run out as much as the time with throws. Looking. Just want to come in. Okay, so when the ball was coming to you a little bit, sometimes then you were sort of jumping but ducking at the same time as you were going towards the defender. Obviously, some of the throws weren't great. You just need to make sure you're timing those a little, getting your timing a little bit better. The first header was a fantastic header. It was a great header into the corner. That's exactly what we're looking for, down into the ground. It's hard for the goalkeeper to reach it. We're going to do that again. Obviously, this time just don't be as tentative. You're going to beat him in the air if you're getting that run. Maybe don't start your run from quite as far out so you can make sure you get to the throw. But apart from that, like, your techniques when you do get your head on it is really good. So we'll do that again, and I'm going to set you a target of trying to get, we'll say 3 out of the 5 into the goal. Okay. Into it. Lucky. Lucky. Remember getting over that ball time the run. That's the best. That's better. Back in. Good header. Lucky. One more. Great header. Great header. Just want to jog in. So obviously that time round that was a lot better. You were not quite getting over the top of the ball, but you weren't as tentative meeting it. Obviously you're playing in the men's league, so like you're going to be bullied and in the box, like they're going to try and rough you up, so it's important that you get that run so you can get above them and win the header cleanly. You might even end up drawing a foul on those sorts of corners. So that was really good last session. That was obviously the final session of the 3 weeks. Just to recap over the 3 weeks, so the first week obviously we just looked at the basic headers that you would need to use during your game, and then second week we progressed that a little bit for timings. That was the focus of the second week, and then this week obviously it's more attacking, like game scenarios for yourself. Can you tell me like the different techniques and some of the coaching points that you've learned over the last 3 weeks?
Right, so for defensive headers, what you need to aim for is when we're up to it, keeping your eye on the ball, trying to meet it sort of at its highest point so you can get as much power onto it. And with obviously your forehead, and just make sure when you head it, you sort of like put your body through it.
Yeah. Okay, so that was really good. You were obviously managed to talk me through the defensive technique. Can you tell me now what you would need to do when you're in the sort of midfield scenario, trying to link the play up a little bit?
Right, so when you're approaching the ball, same again, keep your eye on the ball, using your forehead to head it.
Yeah.
When you're heading towards the player, you want to try and aim for like the chest height.
Yeah.
Try and sort of cushion it past the wall just to make sure they can control it.
Yeah. And just judging the power obviously of each header dependent on the distance. And finally, for the attacking header, can you tell me what you have to do there.
So same again, when you're heading it, make sure you're hitting with the forehead.
Yeah.
When you're meeting the header, you want to try and head it down into the ground into the corner. So if you want to try and get a far corner, you maybe want to twist the body.
Yeah.
And then you sort of like pull it in, and you just want to time your jump when so if you time it too early, then you're either holding your foot and heading over. If you time it too late, then you might go too.
Yeah, so those are the main points of the 3 sessions really. Is obviously the basics that was just like getting you up to speed. The second week timings, that's massive. That's a big part in your 11-side matches. You'll need to be able to time your run perfectly, and then finally, obviously, each technique is obviously big for you as well. But I'm hoping like these 3 sessions have helped you going into your Sunday League team, and thanks for taking part in the last 3 weeks.